Here's a quick tutorial on how to get your pictures ready for broadcasting for broadcast media. Number one, you're going to go and download all your pictures from the links. You may need to find some pictures if there are not some in there. Be sure that you are choosing pictures that are appropriate. If it's girls' tennis, don't download a boys' tennis photo. Find a girls' tennis photo. If it is boys' tennis, use boys' tennis. Then you're going to download them. You're going to open them up into Photoshop. All you need to do is from your downloads folder like so is you're going to grab this picture, you're going to drag it over to the Photoshop icon or find it, drop it in there, and it'll open up the picture in Photoshop. Once you're open up in Photoshop, you are going to find this tool right here, which is your cropping tool. That is the tool you're going to use to make this picture the right size. You're going to go to width, height, and resolution, which is one of the drop-down preferences here. You're going to select 8 inches here by 8 inches by 150 pixels per inch. Then you're going to size that window. Now, if your image is too small, it's going to look terrible. Here, I'm going to crop out all this extra stuff. And we're going to put this boy's arms in here because we don't know this boy, but he's going to be part of our Palatine story there. So I'm going to hit the check mark up here at the top and say yes. There we go. And then I'm going to command minus and zoom out a little bit, or I can use the magnifying glass, which is right over here, right? And so there's my square. So I'm going to make everything from now on, I'm going to make it 8 by 8 inch square, or 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels. So if I go to image, image size, it's telling me right here, it's 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels, or 8 inches by 8 inches, and I say OK. So now this thing is ready to go. If I know more about Photoshop, I can adjust it to make it look better. I can do whatever I want, but this is my basic format for my image right here. Then I just say File, I say Save, or Command S on your keyboard, and it just saved it on top of it, and you should be good to go. So now if I look in my downloads folder here, I can see that it made it the right rectangular shape. Now, a picture like this, if I go to image size and I look at this, I can see already that it's pretty small. It's only 203 by 202 pixels. So if I use my cropping tool on this one and I say check mark, look at that. It does not look very good. It looks sort of fuzzy. So I want to be careful that I'm not doing that sort of fuzziness. Now I can use a clear background. These little check marks here show that it's a clear background, but you can also add a background to a clear image like this. And to do that, all you're going to do is add a new layer, which is this little button down here at the bottom by the garbage can. And I'm going to drag this underneath. I'm going to use my paint bucket, which could be under the gradient tool here. Where's paint bucket? I'm going to flip-flop to white, and I'm just going to paint that bucket so that it's white. So what this is telling me is that this is not truly clear, that this is a checkerboard background. So I can get rid of that background up here. I can use my magic wand. I'm going to go here. I'm going to say select, select, but already I can tell this is becoming sort of a nightmare because all these little pieces are of their own little bits and pieces here, like that. And then I just hit the delete key on my keyboard and it just erased all those corners up there. And now I'm ready to go. But now the problem is I have 2 layers on here like this, so I'm going to go layer, I'm going to say flatten image. Now I just have one thing again. Then now I can go back to File, Save As, and I can save it as a JPEG here, and I'm going to save it into my saving folder. Okay. And again, this one I may or may not use. This one just looks like it's a little bit fuzzy, and when I put it onto the screen, it might look a little bit fuzzy. So I might go back into Google Drive onto Google Search, and I might find a slightly better image. So that's all you're going to do. You're going to collect all of your images here in the Downloads folder. Then once you're done with Photoshop, you're going to take these images here that you've created, and you're going to drop them all into that particular folder here, into our proper folder here. So if I look, oops, where are you? Here you are. In this images folder here, I can see that all these pictures are now the proper size, right? So if I look at all my images here, see the way they switch like this? This is the way they're going to trade off when they're in that broadcast. So you can even see here, maybe this investment club one is a little bit shady, but we're just going to let it slide this time. There you go. So then you also might run into a problem where somebody gives you a crazy logo that you can add some information to, like here. So like for this journalism one, maybe you would add the words PHS or something on the top. That's pretty easy to do. All you're going to do is use the text tool here. So I'm going to take the letter T. I'm going to click, and I'm going to say PHS. I can use my transforming tool here. Oops. And I can grab it. It's a little, there we go, like so. And I can add some words on here, and I can move it around. If I want to change the font of that, I just hit the check mark. And I select my T again here, and I highlight all my letters. And then I can use under this drop-down arrow right here. Sorry, it's taking a minute. My computer's working very slowly. There we go. I can change the font to something different. I can change the color of the font up here. Red is always good for Palatine. There we go, and I can scooch this sucker around and rotate it and do whatever I want to if I want to make my own little title card as well. Once again, when you're done, layer, flatten, oops, check mark first, there we go. Layer, flatten image, save as, and then select JPEG down here at the bottom. And that's all you got to do. Good luck.